Hey there, you fellers and fell nuts. So unfortunately I lost the audio for these few clips here, and so I'm gonna have to do a voiceover. But basically what we're doing here is testing against doveweed. I tried treating doveweed in the back with quinclorac alone, and even though the label says it will treat it, all it did was suppress it for a little bit. It didn't actually do anything. So I've seen people use Celsius to treat doveweed, but it seems like they have similar results to what I had with the quinclorac, where it'll suppress it but not really fully kill it. So I've got quinclorac mixed up in the sprayer because I sprayed where we seeded the Bermuda grass in the front yard with quinclorac because I had some clover and other stuff popping up there, and quinclorac is safe to treat Bermuda right when it's seeded. So I sprayed that, and I've got a little bit left in the sprayer, about a gallon. So I'm just going to mix up a small batch of a combination of the remaining quinclorac and the Celsius and spray that on doveweed and see what it does. This sprayer already has quinclorac and a surfactant in it, so all I'm doing is adding enough Celsius for 1 gallon of water, which is 0.09 ounces. So I'll weigh that out and throw it in here and then mix everything up, and we're going to go to the back and pick out a section that's got doveweed in it and spray it, and we'll check back after we've sprayed it and see what kind of killing or suppression or anything we're getting. All right, so over here behind me is where we've got the heaviest doveweed, but because my sprinklers were installed by Bozo the Clown, that area gets watered with the front yard, so I'm going to spray this area right here, which is also a big cluster of doveweed. So that's all we're going to do for a test spot, and I'll get back with you guys in about a week and we'll see what kind of damage, if this has actually done any damage at all, and we'll go from there, try to make a game plan to treat for doveweed in the front yard. Well guys, it has been, I think it's been right at a week now since I sprayed this with our Celsius quinclorac combo, and as you guys can see, this stuff has gone very yellow. When I sprayed this last Saturday, it rained, I don't know, 30 minutes later, maybe 45, but even still, just wiping my foot back and forth, this stuff's coming out of the ground and is dead. So I'm going to keep monitoring this and kind of see what happens, but so far it looks like it's done a pretty good job, and I'm sure we would have had even better results if it hadn't rained immediately. I think I could do a follow-up treatment. I think it's 14 days after initial treatment, but if we get this kind of result and then we're able to push the Bermuda grass, it'll fill in and we'll leave less room for doveweed to come back, and then obviously could treat it with a pre-emergent for next year so that it doesn't come back. I couldn't use a pre-emergent this year, obviously, with the seeding, because if you have pre-emergents, then your seed won't grow. So I'm pretty happy with how this turned out. Like I said, I'm going to continue to monitor and see if it bounced back, because that's kind of what happened with the quinclorac. When I was just using that alone, it
it browned it up a little bit, but then it immediately came back. But I mean, this stuff, like I said, with my foot, it's just coming out of the ground, which did not happen with chlorox. So Celsius seems to be doing what it's supposed to do. So very happy with that. So for the last part of this video, I'm going to take you guys up to the front yard where we seeded the Monaco and kind of give you an update on what's going on up there and what the plan is up there. So I'll see you guys up there in just a second. We've got a decent amount of Bermuda grass popping up. We've also got a lot of weeds coming up. I treated this with quinclorac about a week ago, and it definitely knocked down some of the clover and that kind of stuff that was popping up here. But there's still a lot of weeds. Our main problem up here was it had been dry all year, and then I guess it decided that since I was seeding, it was going to give us monsoons every day. And we had Hurricane Debbie come through, and when Hurricane Debbie came through, it washed a ton of the seed down into this ditch. So I tried to spread some of that back out, but it's not perfect. It is what it is. So I'm thinking that I'll probably pre-germinate another 5 pounds or so and fill in some of these areas that aren't doing so hot, and try and choose the areas where there's not slope and it's not going to be prone to washout. And then once it gets going, I'll plug the other areas that have slope and we're having washout issues. The good thing about Florida is our growing season for Bermuda will go all the way really into probably December, and then soil temps will drop down January and February, and it would be too cold to do anything. But because it stays warm down here most of the year, I can push growth all the way through December and try and get this to fill in. So yeah, that's where we're at here. I said there's all this green over here, not all of it, but most of this green over here is Bermuda. There's other stuff mixed in here as well. Looks like we got some sedges and that kind of thing, but most of this is Bermuda. So a lot of that down there is Bermuda. The other side of the driveway did not do nearly as well as this side. I'm not sure. I may kill that all again and start over there, but I'm not 100% sure. But this side definitely needs some help too. So that's where we're at with that. We're not close to being ready to mow over here yet. Let me show you guys this. So down here in the swale, we had a big washout. All of this washed down here. Said I was on vacation last week, and it looks like we got a ton of rain while I was gone, because this was not like this when I left. So it is what it is. I honestly probably could use another 20 yards of sand, but I don't feel like doing that yet. Maybe in a few months we'll get some better tools and we can do it that way. But for now, we're just going to try and get this Bermuda to go. Yeah, there's Bermuda mixed in with all this stuff. So even though it's kind of ugly, it is what it is. I was not anticipating, like I said, the amount of rain that we got. And it's created some ruts in the yard from washouts and that kind of stuff, but it's part of the fun of doing yard work, right? Is that there's always things that can be improved on. So sorry for the shorter video this week. I was on vacation, just got back today. But next week we'll be back on the John Deere. So if you guys like that content, make sure you tune in next week. If you guys like this kind of content, make sure you like this video and subscribe. And I'll keep updating you guys on what goes on up here. See you next time. Thanks.